When I started the Great Canadian Road Trip, the goal was simple: to drive across Canada from coast to coast, showing what the journey actually feels like, the landscapes, the cities, the food, and the stories you encounter along the way. But as I've traveled, I've also come across moments that raised questions, moments that surprised me, especially after spending much of the past 2 decades living outside the country. In a few episodes, I've chosen to pause the road trip and take a closer look at some of those moments, from the trucker protests in Ottawa to statues being removed to visible changes in Canada's cities. Today's episode touches on one of the most sensitive chapters in recent Canadian history. This is not about taking sides. It's about observing, asking questions, and documenting the Canada I'm rediscovering, on the road, one story at a time. So I've turned west from the lake, headed towards Vancouver, and look how the landscape has changed. So 100% I had to stop by here just because the signage alone. And here we have a market with fruits, vegetables, and this looks interesting, Mennonite naturally smoked sausage. Ooh. Different veggies here. Ooh. And the fruits. Ooh. I'm gonna have to pick up some of this. Yesterday's marketplace was incredible, and this place is times 10. Different kinds of syrups. Alright, I'm gonna put the camera down and do some serious shopping. Ooh, they've got jerky. I went to Absolute Town. There's just so much good food options, so let me show you what I bought here. I got a watermelon, and I got obviously some beef jerky, Okanagan's best. Nice. And I got one of those Mennonite sausages. Fantastic, they're big. And I got some other smoked pepperoni. I had to get my apricot turnover for today. Good old potatoes, small ones like I like them. I got 4 apples. And also this morning I went back to that orchard that I was in yesterday in Kelowna, and I got some cage-free eggs. Very nice. And we got some more cherries down here, some peaches. I also got some dunguns, some carrots, and a big thing of blueberries. I love blueberries. And I got a little drink for free. And so I'm going to be eating well for the next few days. There's nothing like driving through areas where they grow the fruit and the vegetables and all the food right on site, and you just buy it at the local markets. I wish I could live in a place like this, whereas this has been my regular ability to consume food like this, because it's just fantastic. And we got another place over here called the Peach King, which very tempting, but I'm all shopped out with all this fruit. So yeah, if you're in this area, I'm not even sure where I am right now. It's Keremeos. We're in some kind of valley right now. And yeah, come to Bears. Homegrown, fruit and vegetable. And the lady working there was super nice, so this apricot turnover is a winner. I'm a sucker for a good pastry. Very nice. There's something about these small town. Don't think I could ever live in a place like this, but I could definitely enjoy it for a few days. In the summertime, it's just so beautiful here. Mom and pops. And this is a bit of a detour on the way to Vancouver from Kelowna because I'm going a bit of the longer way, but 100% worth it. I'm just overwhelmed. Cherries, fruit. Definitely, this is one of the places to see in BC, if not all of Canada. What a spot. And the natural surroundings is insane. I had to pull over to this place here, a smoke shop. I picked up a carton of menthol cigarettes. So in the communist nanny state of Canada, you can no longer buy menthol cigarettes in stores. The only way to get them is off of Indian reserves throughout the country. So probably got this through an Indian reserve, or he looked like a native guy himself. So props to the natives for keeping the menthol smokes alive. And I also picked up a joint, which I will smoke after this drive when I get to Vancouver tonight. I don't like smoking weed and driving. I think too much and I drift off, so just cigarettes for driving. And this day continues to just be awesome. All right, what a spot. I wish I could have showed you the inside, but I want to respect the guy's privacy. But there's a cool little spot in there, and yeah, God bless Canada. Things have changed. Sweet. Alright, let's continue on. Alright, I think I might have found the site here. Standing here, just outside the remains of St. Anne's Church, it's impossible not to think back to the events that unfolded across Canada in the summer of 2021. On May 27th of that year, the Kamloops Se Quep Emk First Nation announced that ground-penetrating radar at the former Kamloops Indian Residential School site had identified what were described as possible unmarked graves. Almost immediately, much of the media and political establishment escalated the story into confirmed mass graves, despite the fact that no excavations had taken place yet. Public reaction was swift: grief, anger, and in many cases outrage. But that outrage soon spilled beyond memorials and protests. Within weeks, the first wave of church burnings began, many of them historic Catholic churches located on or near Indigenous land. Over the course of that summer, more than 40 churches across Canada were vandalized or destroyed by fire. St. Anne's Church was among them. For many, these attacks were seen as acts of justice or symbolic retaliation. For many others, they represented something far more troubling: the destruction of historic places of worship, driven by a narrative that, at the time, had not been fully investigated. In the years since, governments have spent millions funding further searches and investigations at former residential school sites. To this date, there have been no confirmed exhumations of mass graves, matching the scale of early headlines. That gap between initial claims and verified findings reflects the national hysteria at the time, one that, in places like this, ended in ashes. It would have looked magnificent on top of that hill, especially on a beautiful day like today. And let's hope stuff like that never happens again. Yeah, I'm not too optimistic, to be honest. I think that's my last big stop. I'm going to be headed straight towards Vancouver now. Yeah, let's carry on. Let's get to the big city. Just under an hour till I get to my mom's spot in the city, and the sky is just incredible. Made it to Vancouver. Wow. Feels good. The trip's not done yet, but I'm gonna be able to take a bit of a break from traveling for a while. I've been going pretty hard for 2 straight months of just driving and crossing this country. So I'm gonna spend the next 2-3 weeks here just in the city, just to kind of relax, but I'm also gonna show a lot of the city as well. And then afterwards, I'm going to head off to the island where I've got another big adventure planned as well. So this trip's not done yet, but this is a big marker, making it to Vancouver. From St. John's to Vancouver. Almost finished the trip. I got some more to go, but I'm just rambling at this point. But stay tuned. We're going to check out more of Vancouver in the near future. And then Vancouver Island afterwards. So I gotta unpack and go give my mom a hug, and I gotta get some sleep tonight because I am bonked. I had one hell of a day, and it was a great day. And like so many days on this trip this far, I've just had so many wonderful days. So I'm very blessed. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you next one where we check out Vancouver. We're in the suburbs right now. It's nice here. All right. Peace.